Vietnam. Today I visited Vietnam with my fiancé and her son during December 2023, not knowing what to expect. This was around 60 years after the United States started the war between Vietnam and the United States for no apparent reason other than to force democracy and devastation to a country for profit from weapon sellers. What I found was like nothing I expected. Ho Chi Minh, formerly Saigon, is a vast metropolis resembling any metro area I have visited over the past 60 years. Similar to some significant European and United States cities. Would I return to this city? Yes, I definitely would, because this city is alive with activity and friendly people. This country has historical places. A vast and unique outdoor zoo that you travel through in a bus provided by the zoo without caged animals to give you a close personal view of the animals without a cage, public beaches. Modern buildings, open outdoor markets, good restaurants, affordable souvenirs, affordable shoes and clothes to bargain for, with Vietnam having a bright future. This country offers more than the Philippines, Thailand, Hong Kong, and other Far Eastern countries. The miniature Disneyland in Hong Kong is what it is, a small, overpriced place to visit. I know because I went there with my fiancé and her son early 2023. Condos to rent in Vietnam are half the cost of those in Hong Kong and the Philippines compared to location, space in the condo, and amenities. This was an enjoyable visit to Vietnam. I found this country to be better than my visits to Thailand, Cambodia, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. Having more features than all the countries I mentioned combined, Vietnam can offer more of everything for half the cost of Hong Kong and possibly half the price of the Philippines for renting condos and good tasting food, with money left to spend. I hope that the following comments in this video will not discourage you from visiting this beautiful country with its temples, clean beaches, unique zoo, Tonkinese Alps, waterfalls, colorful provinces, national parks, various islands, cruising the Mekong Delta, sand dunes, Nha Trang, with its scenic view, many clean parks within the cities, outdoor markets that will please your curiosity with bargain shopping, and energetic people who are extremely pleasant, warm, and welcoming. Vietnam also has a hop-on hop-off bus to help you discover the bigger cities. Vietnam is also rich in culture. I will return to enjoy another stay in Vietnam. When I return, I will look for a retirement visa. After researching, I found the following, which should be distinct from my vacation in Vietnam. Between 1964 and 1975, this Southeast Asian country was embroiled in a fierce conflict known globally as the Vietnam War. The occupying forces of the United States ran out in late 1975 to avoid further ridicule because it could not control a country smaller than some states in the United States. Running scared caused the death of many innocent civilians who helped maintain life for the occupying forces. It was an era characterized by intense political strife, cultural upheaval, and widespread violence. The war arose out of a desire to prevent a communist takeover of South Vietnam and rapidly escalated into one of the deadliest conflicts in modern history. As of today, South Vietnam is a communist country, which would have happened with or without United States interference. So the deaths caused by the Vietnam War involving the invasion and occupation of the United States for over 10 years were uncalled for. But why did the United States decide to go to war with Vietnam? This question continues to perplex many, including several U.S. generals who didn't understand why they were sent halfway across the world to fight an ideologically charged war. Killing people during the war wasn't just a tragic consequence, it became an unspeakable reality for millions of Vietnamese civilians. Their homes were destroyed, families torn apart, and dreams shattered. In many instances, these people had no part in the conflict but fell victim to the sweeping damages it caused. Many poor and needy were killed, injured, or separated from their families, never to see them again. People were so poor that they did not know when or where their next meal was coming from. For average families in Vietnam, living amid this chaos was challenging. Many resided in modest accommodations, often cramped within a 4-meter square room or smaller without plumbing or electricity, a stark contrast against today's urbanized cityscape. Those lucky enough to have a residence and those who had a residence had to grapple with climbing steep stairs, each step a poignant reminder of their struggle for survival amidst adversity. Homes, neighborhoods, and entire villages were reduced to rubble by heavy artillery, aerial bombings, and ground-level combat. Fear and uncertainty prevailed as Vietnamese civilians navigated the perils of a nation torn apart by foreign intervention and domestic strife. Children, unfortunately, were not spared from the horrors of war. Schools were destroyed, children robbed of their youth, and futures uncertain. Many were forced to grow up quickly, developing resilience and strength beyond their tender years to survive. Women, too, played an immense role during these pivotal years. Many served as nurses, caretakers, and supporters within their communities. Their fortitude and courage contributed significantly towards maintaining a semblance of normality amidst the chaos of war. These women were the unsung heroine of this age of despair, with some women being tortured or raped by American soldiers. In addition to managing households under straitened circumstances, countless women joined the workforce or took on roles supporting the war effort, providing food for soldiers, working in makeshift medical facilities, or even engaging in combat activities. These vital efforts helped sustain families and communities throughout these tumultuous times. The effects of the Vietnam War resonate deeply to date, a searing reminder of a decade marked by pain, loss, courage, and resilience. However, it is also worth noting that this harrowing chapter laid the groundwork for sociopolitical and individual transformation. The immediate years following 1975 saw millions of Vietnamese families grappling with a harsh new reality, reclaiming their lives amidst ruins. However, the Vietnamese people were determined to restore normalcy after a decade of turmoil. Having endured the horrors of war, they embraced peace not as a choice but as an absolute necessity. Yet, longing for peace didn't equate to immediate tranquility. Instead, it fueled an arduous journey towards sustainable development and societal rehabilitation. They turned rubble into building blocks. Destroyed neighborhoods gradually evolved into abodes of safety and comfort again, raising children who would never know the ravages of war personally. Families rebuilt their homes with whatever resources were available, often cramped rooms in crowded urban sprawls or makeshift residences in rural areas without plumbing or electricity. However, what stood out during this transformation was not physical reconstruction alone. It was the sense of unity among communities that fostered healing and growth. Amid this period of intense transition, the Vietnamese spirit was epitomized by their collective effort in rebuilding war-torn communities. Neighbors became extended family, offering moral and material support to each other. Street hawkers hustled for a fair day's wage to feed their families. Teachers committed to educating children, the torchbearers of the nation's future. Teachers and women set examples for the future of the country. This era also marked an insurgence of cultural fortitude amongst Vietnamese people. The desire to restore and uphold their cultural identity played an instrumental role in dealing with post-war societal transformation. Folklores were reignited, traditional celebrations resumed, and indigenous crafts flourished, each a testament to the Vietnamese people's ability to preserve their heritage against the odds. The recovery of Vietnam is remarkable when you consider it was brought about by people who could not afford a bowl of rice to feed their families. In conclusion, peace was not simply an end to conflict for Vietnam, it was the beginning of a new chapter marked by determination, unity, and cultural preservation. This pursuit for peace served as the foundation for Vietnam's journey from being a war-torn nation towards becoming a symbol of resilience, a peaceful communist nation progressing rapidly towards modern life. In the years since its tumultuous past, Vietnam has worked assiduously towards building a nation mirroring its people's resilient spirit, resulting in a peaceful communist country progressively embracing what is considered modern times in this world without the interference of the United States. A testament to this is the vibrant cityscape of Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, where urban development coexists with a keen preservation of cultural heritage. The living standards have significantly improved compared to the war and transition periods. While still ongoing, advancements in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and employment opportunities have transformed once war-torn regions into bustling cities and thriving rural areas. Contrast this to 1964 through 1975, when resources were scarce, destruction widespread, and despair rampant. The progress made is nothing short of remarkable. Downtown Ho Chi Minh, characterized by the seamless blend of colonial architecture and towering skyscrapers, encapsulates the steady strides made by Vietnam over the years. The constant hum of motorbikes on wide boulevards and narrow alleys alike symbolizes how far Vietnam has come from the war's devastating aftermath. The endeavor towards modernization has led to physical changes and left an indelible imprint on lifestyles, albeit with their unique challenges. Living conditions for average families have changed drastically compared to decades ago. Small accommodations within densely populated areas have given way to spacious apartments in high-rise buildings. However, many families reside in compact spaces, a 4-meter square room, with basic amenities within Ho Chi Minh. Journeys that once involved climbing steep staircases now include taking elevators reaching several floors high within seconds. This change isn't merely architectural, it mirrors the ascent of millions from the abyss of struggle to vistas of opportunities. Alongside the urban transformation, Vietnam has had a substantial socio-economic shift. Increased foreign investment and a thriving export sector have boosted economic growth, implying improved living standards for its citizens. However, discrepancies persist, with rural areas lagging behind their urban counterparts in some respects. This type of life can be seen in Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, the Philippines, and other Asian countries. Alongside the urban transformation, Vietnam has had a substantial socio-economic shift. Increased foreign investment and a thriving export sector have boosted economic growth, implying improved living standards for its citizens. However, discrepancies persist, with rural areas lagging behind their urban counterparts in some respects. This type of life can be seen in Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, the Philippines, and other Asian countries. The rapid economic development has also stirred conversations around income inequality and affordable housing. While it's undeniable that bustling cities like Ho Chi Minh enable a fraction of its population to live comfortably, millions are still grappling with economic hardships, striving for a better life amid escalating living costs. Significant strides have been made in education and healthcare over the past few decades. Access to quality education has widened tremendously, equipping younger generations with skills necessary for a globally competitive world. Meanwhile, improvements in public health infrastructure have led to increased lifespan and lower infant mortality rates, a stark contrast from war times. Despite these improvements, however, inequalities persist. Access to high-quality healthcare remains challenging for those outside major cities and low-income families, even within city limits. Similarly, while youths now have better access to education, the disparity in educational quality between urban schools and rural counterparts is significant. In conclusion, Vietnam today bears little resemblance to what it was between 1964 and 1975. Its journey from war-ravaged ruins towards peaceful coexistence under an evolving communist governance offers a narrative of resilience and aspiration, underscoring the indomitable spirit of its people amidst their relentless pursuit of peace and prosperity. What did America gain after causing an unforgivable war? Nothing but ingraining their reputation as warmongers in support of weapons sellers in a typical fashion. In all the wars America has been involved in during the past 100 years, they won only one war, World War II. America is said to be the most powerful nation in the world today. Yet it has lost wars with many smaller and less armed nations within the past 100 years. Is this due to their arrogance, greed, or inability to say no to the arms dealers? America has to learn not to be a bully, stay home, and keep from trying to make other nations become what they are not, and that is a fake democracy. America has to remember to let each country have its revolution instead of profiting from misery. I will repeat what I said earlier. This was an enjoyable visit to Vietnam. I found this country to be better than my visits to Thailand, Cambodia, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. Having more features than all the countries I mentioned combined, Vietnam can offer more of everything for half the cost of Hong Kong and possibly half the price of the Philippines for renting condos and good-tasting food, with money left to spend. I hope that the following comments in this video will not discourage you from visiting this beautiful country with its temples, clean beaches, unique zoo, Tonkinese Alps, waterfalls, colorful provinces, national parks, various islands, cruising the Mekong Delta, sand dunes, Nha Trang, with its scenic view, many clean parks within the cities, outdoor markets that will please your curiosity with bargain shopping, and energetic people who are extremely pleasant, warm, and welcoming. Vietnam also has a hop-on hop-off bus to help you discover the bigger cities. Vietnam is also rich in culture. I will return to enjoy another stay in Vietnam. When I return, I will look for a retirement visa.